So I was randomly reminded about this story, The Ugly Duckling, and it made me realize that we actually need like a sequel to this story. We need a sequel. If you aren't familiar with the story about The Ugly Duckling, it's about this duckling being raised by other ducks, and it's being called ugly the entire time. The plot twist is that the entire time, this is not a duck, it's a beautiful swan. And then it goes off to go live with other swans, basically being like, fuck them ducks that raised me. Because the elephant in the room of the story is that this swan is actually an orphan. It got dropped off by its parents in a duck nest and was raised by ducks its entire life. I feel like this would lead to some interesting storytelling after this story, to where the swan has these identity issues trying to understand this new world of beautiful swans when it was raised as a duck its entire life. It's actually a powerful metaphor there, because I think that especially people who like come into wealth or like have to go deal with imposter syndrome, there's this whole idea of like trying to keep up with people that you're not familiar with because you weren't raised that way. That wasn't the environment that you were brought up in. And this duck slash swan basically has to deal with a whole new world without the experience of being a swan. There's also the question of the parents. Why did the parents leave a swan with ducks for the ducks to raise it? Did the swans know that being a swan actually isn't that as cool as it seems? Maybe they didn't want their child to be exposed to the swan life. And see, there's an interesting story that happens after this story that I think is actually more interesting and more compelling. Who knows? Maybe I'll write the sequel to The Ugly Duckling and we'll drop that. But what do you guys think? This is something that's been on my mind today when this came across my desk.